Yes?
Hello, Oh, excuse me. I thought this was Miss Ogilvy's apartment.
It is. Come in, please.
Well, thank you, but...
Oh, I'm a friend of hers. Well, that is. Well, we only met this morning. She brought me here to tea.
Oh.
Who shall I say is calling?
Why, I'm,
Hello.
Oh, hello, Francis. Sorry if I'm intruding. I should have telephoned.
No, it's all right. May I take your coat?
Well,
Oh, please. Don't go on my account.
Well, thanks. Pardon me for staring, but your face seems familiar.
This is Phyllis Dexter.
Dexter?
She's the daughter of the Mrs. Dexter I was telling you about. Just arrived from England. Phyllis, may I introduce Mr. Walker? How do you do? If you're as nice as Miss Ogilvy, you'll be well worth knowing.
I hope you'll always think that.
Oh, I think I hear the kettle boiling. Sit down, Mr. Walker.
Thanks. So you met Francis just today, eh?
Yes, at Dean Harcourt's. Oh, what made you think you knew me?
Why, you resemble a photograph I often admired, the daughter of a friend of mine. The daughter must be very beautiful.
Oh, I feel flattered.
I think she'd feel flattered, too.
Thank you.
You just came from England, Francis said.
Yes, my mother died. It was very sudden.
I'm sorry. I lost my mother, too, a long time ago. I know how it is. You must try not to let it hurt you too much. Death is, well, it's a part of living, I guess. A split second, a woman dies.
So many things can happen in a split second.
Yes, and sometimes they seem to happen with deliberate cruelty.
What?
You'll excuse me, won't you? I haven't time for tea. Please tell Miss Ogilvy I had to go.
What was that? Did he go? Yes. What a strange man. He's one of the finest. He seems to be. Do you think he'll call again soon? I don't know. There's no telling what Mr. Walker will do. Ever.
Come in, Doctor. I'm very glad to see you. Our first meeting was rather brief.
I came here to argue with you, Dean Harcourt.
Really? Sit down.
I came to argue with you about your concept of everlasting life. I want to know how you can reconcile needless death, greed, the destruction of a career with your irresistible onward drive.
Why?
I'm the Dr. Page who operated on Mrs. Dexter.
Page. I see. You have a fine religion, Dr. Page.
I haven't any, as far as I know.
Oh, religion has many definitions, at least in my dictionary, such as loyalty, devotion, honor.
Perhaps. Well, my dictionary defines it as a kind of opiate, used by people with hurt sensibilities to dull them into drowsiness.
Would you say that of Mrs. Dexter?
No, I guess not. But what of her daughter? Can she be like her mother?
She will be, eventually. And so will you.
But will it really matter, then? One has to wait too long. You've got to give up too much for moral victories.
How do you know? There's hardly a man who hasn't been stopped by circumstances. I had ambitions, too. And then I became as I am. I felt death would be better than wasting my life as an impotent cripple. I even sought death. Then, suddenly, I discovered my course was upward. In spite of everything, I got the signal to go forward. At times I'm still delayed, no telling how long, but eventually I get the green light. And I know that once again, I commence that irresistible onward drive. Who is it? Oh, Phyllis.
Dean Harcourt, I hope... Oh, why, Mr. Walker.
Walker?
I hoped we'd meet again.
I thank you. Yeah, Dean Harcourt, Miss Dexter and I, we've met, you see, and...
Yes, I see, Mr. Walker. I'm glad you've met. I think you two should know each other.
Well, if you'll excuse me...
Oh, wait, Goodness, it's lunchtime, isn't it?
Is it?
You must be frightfully hungry, Phyllis.
Not particularly.
I'm sorry I can't offer you lunch. You eat, don't you, Mr. Walker?
Eat? Oh, usually, yes. Miss Dexter, will you have lunch with me?
Oh, I'd like to, very much.
Good. You two run along now. I've got to make a telephone call. And, by the way, if you've no other plans, have dinner with me tonight. Both of you.
Yes,
Well,
of
thank
course.
you. Goodbye, sir.
Hello? Hello, Miss Ogilvy? This is Dean Harcourt speaking, Miss Ogilvy. Could you have dinner with me tonight? Splendid. At 8. Goodbye.
I don't know when I've had a nicer day, Mr. Walker.
Really? Well, that goes for me, too.
Dean Harcourt's a remarkable man, isn't he?
Yes. Well, he seemed to think we ought to be together. Tell me, was he in the church before he got this attack of poliomyelitis?
What?
I mean, infantile paralysis. You know, I've been around doctors so long I almost talk like one. Anyhow, was the dean always in the church?
Yes, why?
Oh, I don't know, unless it's because I've always had the idea that people turn to religion only when they're in trouble.
Well, you would never have had that idea had you known my mother.
Oh, but your mother was unusual.
You did know her?
No. But I've heard a great deal about her. Here, Sylvia. Sit down back there. She always barks at cows. Stop it.
Sylvia. I remember another dog called Sylvia. Mother wrote me about it. She said that Dr. Page had a...
Phyllis.
Oh, you're Dr. Page, you?
Yes.
Oh.
Wait, Phyllis, listen to me. You had to know sometime...
And you killed my mother?
No.
Then who did?
It was an accident.
Accident? Oh, you might at least be man enough to accept the blame. Let me out, please.
Phyllis, you've got to listen to me. Phyllis!
Well, if he doesn't come soon, I'm afraid we'll have to eat without him. Phyllis, have you any idea why he's so late?
No, Dean Harcourt. Who is it we're waiting for?
A friend of yours, Mr. Walker.
Walker? No.
Yes, he came to see me this morning, and Phyllis happened to meet him. Did you have a nice luncheon?
Phyllis, what happened? You lied to me, didn't you? Why didn't you tell me who he was? I see. Well, why didn't you? Because I saw no reason to upset you. I wanted to make it easier for you. And for him, too. I'd do anything I could to make things easier for him. Oh, why should he have things made easier for him? Why he of all people? Because he's clean and decent and good. Because he's the finest man I've ever met in all my life. You think you have reason to hate him, don't you? Well, I tell you, you haven't.
Phyllis, your mother...
Oh, don't say it, please. I'm sick of philosophies, sermons, parables. I'm a human being. I have the right to hate or love. I was born with it. I feel it. It wasn't taught me. You love him. You love him, don't you? Oh, what does that matter now? He killed my mother. I gave him his chance to explain. And did he blame someone else? No, how could he? That's right, how could he? He's too honest. Too honest to break the rules he plays by. What do you mean?
Tell her, Francis.
No. I'll play according to Page's rules, too. He didn't have to listen to sermons to become good. He was born that way. And he'll always be that way, no matter what happens to him. Well, I don't understand.
You will, eventually. You see, my dear, until you have that faith, you don't really love. Francis?
Yes.
I've learned a great deal from you today. Thank you. Where are you going, Phyllis?
I'm going to him. Do you know where he lives? I'll find out. Wait for me outside. I'll take you to him.
Francis, you do that? Bring them together, knowing that she loves him?
He loves her, too.
Did he say that?
No one has to say it. It's in a woman's eyes when she's loved. I know. Well, good night, Dean Harcourt.
Good night, Francis.
Hello.
Oh, good evening, Miss Ogilvy.
We'd like to see Dr. Page, please.
Why, he's not here, miss.
Not here? Where did he go?
I don't know. He didn't say. He left early tonight, and I'm to close the apartment myself.
I see. Thank you, Mrs. Howell. It's gone. Yes. Well, he's joined the parade anyway.
For station identification. This is the Columbia Broadcasting System.